Hi, I'm Isabel, founder and firebrand of the Operations Spark.
Hi, I'm Kristen, author of The Age of the Child.
Hi, I'm LeNora. I'm the creator of The Bitchy Bookkeeper, and we are the 3 founding non-mothers of Childfree Girls. In this episode, we are going to be discussing being child-free with pets, which shall be interesting because I am pet-free by choice, and these two are not.
Is it for those of you who are listening instead of watching? Isabel is wearing a dog mom t-shirt with a big paw print on it.
I love it.
And I think I rolled my eyes when I saw that. Actually, you know what? I didn't even notice that at first until Kristen said something. That's how oblivious I am to pets. So before we get into this topic, we're just going to do a coronavirus update to see where everyone's at with this whole thing. What's going on in your neck of the woods? And is there anything specific you want to mention about personally dealing with this?
Well, one of the things I've found interesting about this is that I've become one of those people who I used to be someone who would be kind of relaxed about stuff and think, oh, that's not going to happen to me. It's happening everywhere else. I'm not going to be one of those weirdos who goes above and beyond to not catch something because I'm probably not going to get it. But because my husband travels, I am social distancing from him. We sit in the same room, but we don't sit on the same piece of furniture. We do sleep in the same bed, but I face the opposite direction. It's probably been a couple of weeks since we've kissed or hugged, which some people would think is weird. But when I went to get my blood drawn, just for regular labs, I asked the nurse working there or the technician if she was nervous at all, encountering so many people, in this period of uncertainty. And she said, if I get it, I get it. And I told her I was social distancing from my husband, and I asked her if it was a silly idea. And she said, well, have you seen The Notebook? How much do you love your husband? And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, the husband and wife die together, basically, at the end. And I was thinking, well, I don't, I do love him that much, but we have pets to take care of, so only one of us can die. So I think it just makes sense to not.
Oh, Lenny.
I know, Lenny, 2 cats. They'd have to eat each other.
Oh my goodness.
But really, you think about, okay, am I being stupid to social distance from my husband? Or if more people social distance from the people they live with in their houses, the whole family wouldn't get it. That's just the way it is. So I think I'm being normal. I don't know.
It's just a very surreal situation, isn't it? It's like I live by myself. Well, yeah, I live by myself, my dog, but it's not like I can pass it on to another human being. But I think that if I were in your same situation, I would probably do something very similar. You're taking care of others is not only, yourself.
Yeah.
And well, on my side, somebody asked me the day before yesterday because I was telling them something about how I'm just, fed up with being quarantined and the coronavirus and when is this going to stop, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, do you know somebody who has the virus? And I was like, nope. Do you know somebody who knows somebody who has the virus? And I was like, nope. And they're like, okay, so, keep your chin up, it'll be fine. That was the day before yesterday. And then yesterday, I found out that someone I know has the virus. And I was like, well, this is getting a little bit too real, isn't it? You know somebody with the freaking virus. But yeah, so it is scary. But, we're all in it.
This is why I'm actually watching the news on a regular basis, like more than once a day, because it does affect everybody. I know one person now who has it as of yesterday. So that's a first because it's been I felt like I've been feeling removed from the situation, but now grocery shopping is really you're seeing the lines on the grocery store floor, distance between cashier, the register, between people at the checkout. Everyone's wearing gloves and they're wiping down the touch screens and they're limiting people. Last night, actually, at 6 o'clock, the province of Alberta announced that non-essentials are mandatory shutdown now, and all national parks are closed. They're ticketing people if you are going to access the walking paths or even parking lots. So driving to the mountains is completely out. Like it's now mandatory. So that's new.
Meanwhile, here around the same time Canada decided to close off the national parks, there was news that a whole bunch of Americans are flooding their national parks together.
My nephews are texting, when can we come over? Because a few weeks ago, I told my brother, I said, I could take the kids for Easter for a week because I haven't had them for a while. And I said, let's see how things go. But I'd love my nephews to come visit for a week. Right? So I said, don't tell them yet. Let's just, because things were still like, it was new. No one really knew the extent of it. But my brother did tell them, because I was getting a Snapchat message from my 9-year-old nephew and a text message from my 14-year-old nephew confirming that I was in fact going to come get them at Easter. I said, no. I said, everything's closed. I said, we can't go to the mall. We can't go to the park. We can't go swimming. I said, let's just wait until this is done. I said, then you can guys can come and stay for a week. But they are off school until September. Oh. So the nephew visits have halted until further notice. So that's what's going on with me. Let's get into our topic that shall be interesting, the pets and being child-free. And do you guys consider yourselves fur moms? And
I never said that.
No, I never said that either. I need to clarify that as well.
I didn't put this in notes. I wrote that note just before we started.
That says dog mom. I really have to clarify on that point. But yes.
Okay, let's talk about this, because we have had debates on our Instagram with a few people leaving comments like, well, why are you child-free if you have pets? I will like, not in my defense, but my view is like, I like pets. I like dogs. I like cats. I like my friends' pets. And most of the photos you guys post, I think, are cute. But personally,
ones aren't.
I have no need for a pet. And
they're all cute.
See? Okay, so this is where it starts. I am pet free by choice. If I end up staying away for a month, the worst case scenario is I come back to mostly dead plants.
That's true.
So for me, it's always about freedom. So I choose not to have pets. Now, let's start with you, Kristen. Do you identify as a pet mom, and what are your views on? No, okay. So
unless I'm doing a Halloween video and have my whole costume on, I do not. I don't know. Like, pet mom makes me think of people who dress their pets every day in outfits and carry them in strollers into the store and, take it a little excessively. I do think that I am taking care of pets, and that what that means is that once you bring a pet into your house, you do not abandon it. You do not give it back. You do not. Isabella's playing with her dog in a really funny way right now.
This is not a bring your pet to work podcast. Well, actually, it is. We're in our house.
I think the responsibility is every bit as serious as having a kid. Yes, it's a lifetime responsibility for the lifetime of that animal. And you take it to the vet when it needs to go to the vet. You try to give it the best food you can. So not pet. I don't know, man, because parent is such a loaded word. I don't want to be a parent, but I do want to be a good pet caretaker because I love animals because they're wonderful. Innocent and pure and cute. Did I answer your question?
Yep. I have many things to say, but I'll wait.
Okay.
Well, I agree with everything that Kristen just said. That's my little squeaky toy because he's hungry now. But so the reason, I'm wearing this dog mom t-shirt because it was perfect for episode today, but this is not something that I wear to go out or anything. I don't like people that call their pets fur babies or people that call themselves, fur moms or dog moms or pet moms or whatever. Because I think that, it is a great responsibility, but it's never going to be the same responsibility as having a child ever. So we do have to take care of them. We do have to feed them. And, good pet owners try to feed them, the best food that they can, take them to the vet, pay all their bills on the vet. One of the things that you mentioned, LeNora, is, if I want to like take off for about a month, like I can do it, and like my plans will be there. That's the end of it. With the pets, I have the flexibility, and I think Kristen too, that I can leave my dog at a doggy hotel, which is not expensive. Or I can leave it at my parents' house because they love my dog. So they're like, oh, we'll take him for the weekend or whatever. You can't do that with a kid. You can't just like put the kid in a hotel and just like take off for a month. It's never going to be the same. When you're raising a kid, the responsibility is a lot bigger because that kid's going to have an impact on other people, during its lifetime. Whereas a pet isn't. And my dog is really misbehaved, and I don't care because it's a dog. It's not a kid, Somebody said that I'm an enabler for my dog's way of behaving.
Might be.
No, definitely. Like, I know I spoil him too much. I know I do, and I don't care because it's not like whatever he does by being bratty and it's going to have a negative impact on another human being. That's what, there's a big difference there. So, and it's the best companionship that I could ask for, to be honest.
Why did you both decide to get dogs?
I got a dog because Ian and I were near a long strip mall and we were heading toward the liquor store, but it happened to be 2 doors down from a pet store. And Ian saw that it was Saturday and it was dog adoption day. So he said, let's just go pet a dog or two and then we'll go get, wine or beer or whatever, and then go home. We really had no intention at all of getting a dog. We went in there to pet a couple dogs, and I saw Lenny sitting in a crate with her head down, and she looked so sad. She just looked miserable. And the last time I saw a dog at the adoption thing that looked that way, I felt bad for weeks that I didn't take it home, that I just let it sit there being sad. So I saw this sad dog. And I hadn't been working for a while because I had stopped working at the paper to write fiction. And we had decided, because Ian has always had dogs, we had decided we're not getting a dog until someone is home all day because we want someone to walk it. We don't just want to, you can't get a dog and treat it like a cat unless it's a very small or inactive dog that doesn't need a lot of exercise. So we had to have someone be home if we were going to get a dog that needed walking. And I happened to be home. And this dog was so sad. So I said, Ian, what if we just take her home? And that's how that happened. It was a total impulse adoption.
Was she a puppy?
No, she was a grown dog. She had already had puppies and they yoinked her puppies from her and adopted them out. Oh, the poor dog.
Oh,
and by take, you mean you paid for the dog and walked out of the store? Or
yes, we did. We did not dog nap her.
Okay. I will say the photos that you take on Instagram, if we can plug your Instagram feed for a little bit, they are kind of spectacular because they're all scenic and they're all shots of Lenny, and she has like some of the craziest personality, not crazy in a bad way.
Does.
The personality that comes through in those photos, like she's always giving you a look, or by not looking, she's telling you something in those photos.
She's very communicative. She's an awesome communicator.
She is. And her ears, I'm kind of obsessed with ears.
She has award-winning ears.
She does. Absolutely. So Isabel, your dog, why did you get her?
I really honestly don't remember what it was that made me think, well, I should get a dog. At that time, I was moving back. I was actually living in the States. I was moving back to Colombia. So I've had my dog for a little bit less than 7 years now, and I've had him since he was a puppy, since he was like 2 months old. He was tiny little thing.
Can we show a picture somewhere in here right about now of a puppy Euro?
Of course.
We'll just like plug it in for the people who are watching. I apologize to all the listeners of the podcast that you will not get to see puppy Euro, but maybe we'll post it on our Instagram feed.
Yeah, he was the cutest little thing, and I don't remember what was that. What was it that I was like, oh, I really want a dog, because I've had cats. The last time I had a dog, I was too young to take care of it. So it was my parents who took care of the dog, not me. I had cats when I was in high school. My mom hates pets. And my dad loves them, but there was like this thing, you can't really have pets, but so I wasn't allowed to have a dog when I was in high school. I actually didn't even ask for one. But this was, I was already working. I was moving back to Colombia. So I decided that I wanted a dog. And I did a lot of research on breeds, and I settled for a Whippet because they are the fastest couch potatoes in the world. Like they don't need exercise. People think that greyhounds or Whippets or need a lot of exercise. They don't. They sleep 18 hours a day. And when you go out with them, they want to come home like really quickly. If they're like exercising and running, it's like 3 zoomies and that's it. Like that's it. Done. When I go out running with him, I have to like carry him back home sometimes because I'm not doing this anymore, woman. So, and they're very easy to take care of. They're not very vocal, except mine is. Mine is like a weird Whippet. They're just generally easy dogs to take care of, and you can like leave them by themselves, and they'll be fine for a little bit. And it was funny because so I had said with the breeder, like I want this dog, blah blah blah. We had to wait for a little bit, and during the time that I was expecting Euro to come home, I got my heart broken. And when he got home, it was like he just fucking fixed everything.
Aww.
He's the ultimate heartbreaker fixer ever. So, and we've been together for 7 years almost. Yeah.
Wow.
LeNora is seldom speechless. Like,
well, it's not
like, I just still don't
believe me. It's
get it.
not that I'm speechless. I am trying to be supportive of you two having pets because I grew up with dogs. I always had dogs. I used to pet sit a lot, so I enjoyed looking after other people's pets. But for me, it always came down to like my needs come first, and some dogs need to be fed first thing in the morning. And see, when I used to pet sit, here's the thing. I usually had pet sit for 2 weeks to a month per client. And they'd always tell me, yeah, our dog doesn't get up before 10 o'clock in the morning now because I would sleep in because I was working as a music teacher. So I wouldn't have to work till about 3. So I'd sleep in till 10, be up late all night, practicing whatever. And
do not have LeNora be your pet sitter to anyone whose dog is on a schedule.
Yeah, no. The dog would conform to my schedule. I mean, that's the thing. I've never had the desire to even get a pet. Seeing adoption photos. They're cute, but I've never gone because I know how much work is involved.
Yeah,
and I even look like my brother. He's got 2 kids and he has a cat. He's had multiple cats, even though he's allergic, but, the kids talk him into it. And he's had to pay $3,000 for surgeries. And, the cat has to be put down because it ate something or got into a fight. Like you don't think about it. But for me, that's what I look at the potential work. I look at the daily life, the daily involvement of even having a pet. And it's the same way that I view kids as well. I'm not interested in that. I like petting, and it's, when I'm sad or when I'm going through a hard time and I go over to a friend's or my brother's, whatever, the animals, they cuddle. I mean, I appreciate that. It's nice to hold something and have something excited to see you. But for me, it's always the daily maintenance of a pet and let alone a child. But pet's the same thing. I'm not interested in that. I don't care how much love and affection and unconditional love I get from the pet. I'm not interested in the day-to-day aspects of having a pet. And I hate pet hair. I hate the smell. I hate this. Like, again, other people's pets, fine. They can climb all over me, but not in my house. So I'm very particular about that.
You just said something like, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you just said, when you were dog sitting, like the pets would like end up adapting to your schedule. And that happens to every dog owner. Like, every dog adapts to its owner's schedule in the end.
But what a dog and what any pet or any child cannot adapt to is being completely independent. I don't like eating. I don't like clinging. If they can, I always used to tell my mother this: if the child could come out of me talking, walking, potty trained, educated, fine. But they don't. pets need to be trained. Even if you get an old, like they can't go to the cupboard and get their own food. Like I need independence, and I don't mind looking after. I don't mind caring for to a point, but every day the obligation, I'm not interested in that. And for me, I need the space to not be obligated to do that. I mean, I'm reviving plants because I decided to like spend months at a time at my friend's house across town just because I didn't feel like coming here. And I've got some dead plants I had to deal with. I can live with that. That's okay. That's not going to land me in jail. Like that's the kind of lifestyle that I have and that I desire. So,
and I think that's where the difference is. Like your aversion is to
it's the maintenance.
It's the maintenance. And with me, at least, I can't speak for Isabel. But the thing is, there's having a pet who isn't a child and having a child who is. And so
that's a great one.
I don't mind I love all of my pets, and I know that part of having them is taking care of them, and I want to take good care of them because I want them to have happy lives. But they're not kids. I don't have to train them as much. Lenny required training, but it's fun because she loves to learn. I mean, she totally gets off on learning. She makes me laugh my ass off when I'm trying to train her something because she'll do something silly and tries to kill me with laughter. But it's not, there's not someone around all the time, I mean, I'm an introvert, so I really understand my dad and how he got so good at telling me and my sister to go do stuff in our rooms. We got very used to being alone, and this is not in a bad way. We learned that we had our space and he had his space. If he needed time alone, he'd say, go to your room, go find something to do, go outside, which baffles my mind when I think about the way kids are now, where they're kind of like always have to be around their parents, and parents are complaining about kids, coming to the bathroom door and you can't even go to the bathroom. And I'm like, why is this happening? Why don't you just tell them to go away? Like my dad would have killed me if I had insisted on banging on the door when he's in the bathroom. Discipline, but I can't talk. I'm not a parent. But yeah, just quite simply, a pet is different from a child. A pet will sleep. Even Lenny sleeps a lot. My cats sleep a lot. They require only so much interaction, and you can ignore them. Like if Ian and I want to sit in the kitchen and have a couple drinks, Lenny might kind of walk up and give us a little woofy face because she wants to play, but we can tell her to go sit on the couch and it's over. We don't have to make her an elaborate dinner. We don't have to make her an elaborate breakfast. There's no school. There's no school district. I mean, an animal is not a child, as any parent will tell you happily.
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree. I mean, they do take a lot of care and time, and there is effort involved. Yes, but it's never, ever going to be as much as you need to put into a child.
So based on that, then, this is something I noticed last Mother's Day. So Mother's Day of 2019, there was a lot of saying Happy Mother's Day to all the moms and the fur moms and the fur dads out there. That was the first time I really noticed the fur parent thing coming in, kind of into the whole Mother's Day. Well, I guess they wouldn't be saying fur dads because that was for Father's Day. Sorry. Just fur moms and moms. So what are you both, I mean, you kind of both expressed your opinion, but that specifically, wishing somebody a happy Mother's Day as a fur mother on Mother's Day. Like, and okay, I'm not going to speak, I'm going to speak to maybe the people that are currently without children, but do want children eventually and are basically using dogs or pets as a child substitute. I've got a friend that kind of does that. Like, she wants kids, but right now she's definitely a fur mom. Or maybe those that can't have kids and that is their actual substitute, because that does exist as well. I don't know.
Are you saying that it's possibly offensive to them?
No, I'm saying, like, what is your opinion? I don't want to be offensive with this one, but it's just, there are certain people that are like, no, like what we've discussed, there's no substitute for a child, so it's wrong to wish a fur mom happy Mother's Day on Mother's Day when it's reserved for human babies. But
I think in the big conversation is kind of silly because I don't know. I mean, mostly because not as much work is required. It's not as spiritually draining. It's not as exhausting. It's not as stressful. But Ian did say it to me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I appreciated that he did, because he's gone a lot. And so what that means is that when he's gone, I do all the 4-mile walks in the morning, take her out in the middle of the day, take her for another walk at night. I am the one who's around enough to know that if something happens, like if she suddenly collapses when she's walking, that I'm the one who's there to have the freak out and have to pick her up and rush her to the car and run a couple of red lights to get her to the vet so they can give her a shot because she got stung by bees and she's apparently allergic to bees. But there's a lot of, and, like choosing and doing the research to find the right food and, keeping up with the vet visits. I mean, there is a lot of emotional labor involved in taking care of I'm sorry, I really hate key phrases. I try not to use them. And when I do, I can't help but make fun of them, but I understand it is a very real thing. But there's a lot involved. And so I think he was just saying, hey, I appreciate all the stuff that you do with these animals. And that was nice. But I would not want anyone in a store to say, hey, happy, for Mother's Day. Because that's just, please don't. I'm not a mom. I chose not to be a mom on purpose. I don't want this.
I would have to agree with Kristen on that as well. I mean, I think if you look at it from the larger picture, it's just this, Mother's Day, like Father's Day and many other holidays are just a hallmark thing, right? It's just, let's move the economy, let's sell some chocolates or whatever. I remember, for example, my mom always says on Mother's Day, she's like, oh, Mother's Day is every day. And she's right. Because she has, as a mom, she has to be, well, now we're adults, but when we were younger, she had to be like paying attention to us 24/7. And now that we're adults, she still worries and she's never going to not be a mom. So she's right. And yeah, like Kristen said, right, it entails work. And I think this t-shirt was given to me as a gift. And I think it was because, oh my God, the work you do with your dog. Thanks so much. But that doesn't make me a mom.
I was going to say, being child-free by choice and then calling yourself a dog mom or a fur mom, to me makes no sense because you don't want to be a mom in the first place. And this kind of speaks to a meme that we made a while ago about mothering, the term mothering, and why do women have to be why do women have to mother anything? And of course we get the troll comments going, well, you have a uterus, you have to be a mother. We're not talking about that specifically, but the term mothering. And Kristen, that one time when I said, don't hate me for this, I find you maternal, and you're like, no. I meant that as a compliment, but realizing the language I'm using, I find it interesting if a child-free person says, I'm a fur mom, and they didn't want to have kids. The term mom, not to be a gatekeeper of anything, it just, I wouldn't want to be referred to as a mom because I don't want to be a mother. So if I had a pet, don't call me a fur mom because... No,
I get it. I feel the same way. I love Isabel's t-shirt and I would probably wear it in the house.
Or an interview about dogs, about being a pet owner. No, I completely agree with you guys. I don't want to be called a mom for anything. Not a plant mom or a dog mom or anything else.
Yeah, plant mom. Oh, geez. Well, I'd be in jail if they had plant mom.
It's a whole different conversation. I love my dog. I love him to pieces. And I think this breed's lifespan is maybe 15 years. So he's almost halfway there. And I've already made the decision that after he leaves me for natural causes, not because I threw him out the window, sometimes he just drives me nuts. Because they do sometimes do things that you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking kill you. But of course you never do that. When he leaves me, I'm going to be dog free and pet free for a while because it's hard. I'm not going to say it's not. And I don't even know yet what it is to have a senior dog, which I've heard is also very difficult because when they're puppies, they're a pain in the ass. They're really a pain in the butt. They destroy everything. They're not potty trained. They are, oh my God, they're just a pain. They're so cute, but they're really horrible little piranhas, especially when they're teething. Oh my God. This one was horrible. He would cling to my arm and just not let go. Then they kind of calm down when they become adults. But when they become seniors, they're calm, but they stop losing their ability to control their sphincters. They stop eating, for example. Or, I mean, it's like a person when they become old. They have, of course, the
You're talking about LeNora's face looks so uncomfortable.
Well, I want to hear
you're talking about sphincters. Like body fluids.
I was looking. I'm looking at my reaction as I'm listening. I'm looking at myself on my computer screen because I was thinking I got really annoyed having to change around this so I could get light because I really wanted it the other way. That drives me nuts. If I had a dog chewing on anything, can you imagine how irate? Like, I have to work really hard. Like, I live alone for a reason because, if I get mad or if something goes, like, I am very specific about things and I'm not super flexible myself either. So if I have to change something and I'm not prepared to do it, you don't want to be around me. And I'm thinking that annoyed me, let alone if some dog was biting me or chewing my arm. I'm like, wow, I could just feel my skin get really hot listening to you guys talk about that. So I was trying to keep my reaction calm and think, LeNora, that's not your life. Don't worry about it. That's what was going on. I'm like, wow, I just get really mad.
Listen to this because this is going to piss you off even more. When you was a puppy, I literally had to build like a stronghold, like a fort around my shoes because he ate my heels.
Oh,
that would piss LeNora off.
Oh yeah, well the wigs, everything. I mean, this is what I think about when someone speaks about the pet, specifically a dog or a cat. It's that stuff. And I mean, I think, okay, I am not flexible at all about having children, obviously. But I can see myself, in my later years, if I had an estate, like I envision myself in a nice estate somewhere. I have gardeners, I have housekeepers, whatnot. The queen has had dogs and she doesn't actually take care of them. She has her staff take care of them. I would do that. That's
fine. I have one.
It could be later in life where I'd have someone take care of I could walk it, but, picking up the poop and stuff like that. Like possibly. But no, not now. Not when no. Nope. Well, this is all for this episode. I'm staring at a cat and a dog right now in place of my co-host for you who are listening on the podcast. It's kind of eerie. And I'm by my lonesome self without pets.
But you are wearing a fabulous blonde wig today.
I am wearing a fabulous blonde wig. I have my wig, so I'm not completely alone in this universe. So if you have any comments for us on today's episode, you can email us at childfreegirls@gmail.com.
Oh, you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, sometimes on TikTok.
Always on Instagram. See, these pet parents just get so distracted they can't even do a proper wrap-up.
Wherever you look for us on any social media, whatever, we're at Childfree Girls.
And we have a question for you that you can answer after you've watched or listened to this episode. What do you think about people who call themselves fur parents? Mom, fur dad? You can answer on the comments below. That's it for today.
Thanks for watching, listening.
And listening.